Woo! Hey, y'all. Zay, no other way to start a show like a post-game show like this. Texas, Kansas State post-game here on Texas Sports Unfiltered. As you can see, I'm at the game, Zay.
Yeah, I see that, man. I like that
Uh,
background. It's
no,
nice.
no one's moving, but, it felt like no one moved for a little while in this game. A lot to get to. This was a classic for sure and a huge game for Texas. I'm finishing up my protein bar because Zay's laughing because I was eating as we're getting on here, but we want to get on quickly and do a lot of post games. So we'll check out the comments line, but also more importantly, Kevin Dunn, Isaiah Collier, and we do shows throughout TSU throughout the week. And we've talked about this game, Zay, and it felt like I was going to be close, but early on did not feel that way. And it also felt like another halftime lead where Texas, you're happy to be up 10, but this could be 23 or 27 nothing. And KSU's kind of done, and they let him back in, man. I mean, give him credit for winning the game. We can get into all the different deals, but it felt like 4 or 5 stories in one.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the fact that this Texas team pulled out this win, KD, as much as anybody a few years ago, even during the Tom Herman area,
they're not winning this game.
They're not winning this game.
No.
They're not winning this game. And
no, they actually lose by 10. And it's one of those like, dude, how are you up and you lost by 10? So I'll give them credit. Like, I mean, it's a 17-year-old boy who can dunk now, but you hear him on the phone with his girlfriend, you got to pull him aside and be like, yo, you don't talk to women that way. Like they're growing. Like on some stuff, it's the chicken math, your daughter in math. Yeah, probably a bad example. But you're like, whatever, and she's excelling, but also is struggling with something else, which most teenagers do. And this program's still in the teenage part of its development.
Yeah, definitely. And, Malik Murphy, he needed a little help this game. I've been talking about it all week, especially with a backup quarterback. This defense and the special teams, they got to help Malik Murphy out as much as possible. And, hey, you're a Westlake guy. As a Bowie alum, it's very hard to give Westlakers credit. And when you go to the 40 acres and you start your tenure there, I usually turn my juice around in a positive way to what I used to think when those guys were Westlakers.
In fairness to you, because I grew up right near Bowie with my mom, so I knew both sides. Yeah. You're only bitter because like your dad had like talent he had developed stolen from there.
Yes.
So let's get real about that. You don't hate Westlake people that hate him, although that'd be fair too.
Oh, yeah. They got a big brother on the basketball team right now that was supposed to be in the Bowie district, but he's a D2 player playing at Westlake. Like, it happens all the time. So I have a certain pettiness with your high school alma mater, but
some people do pay, $2,000 a rent for a 5-bedroom house in Westlake. All right, that's the way it works now. All right,
that's true. That's true, man. And shout out to Michael Taft, 3rd straight pick in 3 straight weeks, starting back at Houston. We saw what he did last week at BYU, and that was a huge play. And Ethan Burke, the strip sack fumble that Jalen Ford recovered, like that was a huge play too, because it put Malik Murphy in this offense on the 5-yard line, and those guys were able to score. So, yeah, it was an interesting game. You go up 20 points, 27 to 20 or 27 to 7, excuse me, and you completely coughed that up. And Sark, kind of like in the Houston game, KD, when he went for the fake field goal with Auburn, where you should have taken the points there, especially after Houston scored. There's a situation that 4th and 2, and you don't get it, and those guys go back down and score, and the momentum shift right then. It was like the Wildcats, they just got a lot of momentum, and once Colin Klein said, yo, damn this run shit, it ain't going to work, we going to start airing it out. Will Howard, you the man today. And Will Howard, with Avery Johnson breathing down his neck, that dude, he performed from the second quarter on and had over 300 yards and kind of start gutting the Longhorn secondary, which is pretty vulnerable. We know that when these guys play. So, at the end of the day, we had BK on before, we jumped on, just, taking us through here. And he said, if you win that game with a backup quarterback, you just got to count the dub. And that's what I'm trying to do here. But, it could have been a 20 20-something point win, which would have looked good for the committee down the line. And hey, they squeaked one out. That's all you could say.
Yeah, well, fuck the committee. It's not a championship team right now. I mean, like, let's get real. I mean, and it may be this year with this Big 12, with this NCAA and this playoff, but I'm thinking more big picture, and there are things they definitely have to get better at. And a lot of it is Sark in his decision making, whether it's, the whole red zone deal now, like, we're 8 games in, man. CC would tell you this. This playing. Like, you are who you are at that point.
Yeah.
In football. Like, you can maybe get better at stuff, but someone on Twitter, we're going back and forth. Good discussion, and big UT fan. He said, well, let's figure out the red zone stuff. You're not going to figure this out during this game against Kansas State. You can figure this out right now, bro. You're not figuring out the marriage 10 years in, Zay. So figure it out right now, all right? And so, it's one of those where you know who you are, and their offensive personnel has gotten a lot better. Their offensive line's gotten a lot better. But there are things that we thought hopefully would be there that aren't there. And one of those is in short yardage situations and man-to-man blocking, they don't do very well. They don't man up. They shade. They screen. They protect. They're better in zone blocking. But we saw it against Oklahoma. That'll be the play that this team doesn't get to the CFP, which is amazing they even could. That'll be the play. You look back on and go, that was the team. First and goal from the 1, and they couldn't get it done. Some of that is Sark's play calling. Some of that is the offensive line and straight up man-to-man run blocking and just grinding people and getting them out. But we know what they are. Like, kick it up, man. Like, I just felt like once again, Sark gave them momentum and then also didn't take points when he should, knowing what you are. I know you're frustrated. I am too, bro. Ideally, we go for it every time there. I'm the go for it guy. I'm the PlayStation guy. Let's go. But I'm not Jimbo punting at 4th and inches from the opponent's 41 at all. But know what you are. Take the points, and your defense is balling out, Zay.
Yeah, sometimes Sark's feel for the game is a little questionable. And it's like,
it is, man. It's
you
a third head coaching spot, and you've been with the Falcons and Saban after.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of goes all the way back to his USC days. I mean, I know Texas fans love the fact that he didn't have Reggie Bush in for that last play of the game where Lindo White got to rush it in the 06 championship game. But that's kind of stuff that Sark does, man. Like, it's Reggie Bush, generational player. You don't have him in on.
No, have him in there. And look, Lindell was the better short yardage guy.
Yeah,
but have him in there. Split him out. Trust me. Number 5 will give you eyeballs. Probably number 7, Michael Huff, who's shadowing him, but maybe someone else.
Yeah.
Empty the box.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I don't know. Like, that's what I'm thinking about the style points, KD. Like, is Sark looking for the future where he's just trying to blow these teams out, which Kansas State, they're a solid team. Like, we knew that coming in. My guy, Chip Brown, Chip and Zay, every 1-3, he said that this is their biggest game of the year. Like, this is the best team they've faced, not counting Alabama. And I was like, damn, Chip, you feel that way even about OU? And he was like, hell yeah, I feel that way. Like, Kansas State, they're very good.
I back-checked up. I mean, this is probably the first game all year I took, because I think I took Texas to win every game up until this point, not being a homer. But I took Kansas State to win by 3.
Yeah.
And it's a 3-point game, and this obviously could have gone either way. But here's the thing. What I expected was not what I saw. When you get up to a point where it could be 27 or 23-0 at half, you take that, man. Your defense is suffocating them. Yeah. And they didn't, they even were able to run with Brooks, and they're okay running. So their run blocking's not good. Their pass grades aren't, or their run blocking grades aren't. But that's more short yardage and that to me also gets on Sark as a play caller. It's always on him because know your personnel.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the 95 Nebraska Aaron Grahams of the world.
95 Nebraska. What a ride, man.
steroid, no neck, and just run blockers. Like they came out of birth run blocking.
Yeah, those were some country fed white boys back then. I might have been before my time, but I saw a picture of that like 95 lineman the other day, all in their Nebraska Letterman jackets. That was
they were with LSU baseball, they were way ahead of the steroid game.
Yeah.
And also these kids came out with no neck and were going to be 320,
Yeah, man.
So I mean, and they had a good strength and conditioning program. There's a lot that goes into it. Steroids is not a lazy man's drug, but I mean, we don't have that. Like we've got a good line. They pass protect well. They screen well. They shade well. And I don't mean they're super soft. They can block, but we were more a zone blocking team, inside zones, not even outside stretch zone where you'd actually do it a little more physical and really shove a guy. This is more boom, boom, move on, second level, boom, boom, like you're shadow boxing the whole time. Yeah. So part of it's the scheme and play calling too. Let me get that straight, but that's not who we are. So understand that in games like this, we don't need to be in a spot we were in. Take 3, man.
Yeah, take 3. And Christian Jones being out hurt him. Like Christian Jones has been the most consistent offensive lineman all year long, and that's with Kelvin Banks on that other side. And once he went out, Cam Williams, bless his heart, you could tell there's some inexperience there. The dude had about 3 false starts and got beat a couple of times. So, yeah, you knew there would be.
And he also had really good plays, too.
Yeah, he did. He did. Definitely did.
Like Cam is a lot like Malik. Like, man, you got a lot of leeway if it's your first or second start.
For sure.
I know you have talent, so I will give you. Now, Malik's had a couple. You're right about Cam, and we felt that, which is what I've talked about all the last couple of weeks. We don't have the depth that I thought or some people thought after Alabama. That's okay. Getting back to the 17-year-old you're seeing a lot of promise in certain things, and they're still 17. Okay, they're not a finished product. That's okay. And that's what this program is. So it's a weird thing, too, because we're in this world of the Big 12 and CFP, and it's the worst Big 12 ever. And I don't remember CFP being this weak. Like this open to go grab when you're not ready for it, Going to talk to Jessica Alba when you're 17, and it's like, I'm not ready for this.
You way over your head there.
But you shoot your shot, right?
Yeah.
You shoot your shot. So I see Texas fans seeing that, but also seeing kind of where this program is. They're moving in the right direction. There is long-term stuff with Sark, just with basic decision-making with clock management, game management, red zone, 2-minute beyond. That does worry me, but, no one's perfect. Yeah.
So you're missing Cam Williams on one side, and they were missing Keaton Crawford today too. Like once Colin Klein said, F this run game, it ain't working. Byron Murphy and Trevondre
on the run game. Okay, I got you. Yeah.
Like Derek Williams, who had some good plays, they started testing those boys in the secondary. And hey, we talk about Michael Taft having those interceptions. The reason why he has those interceptions is because a lot of these teams, especially with him being a white boy, have no respect for him. So you saw Brooks juke him and Ryan Watts for that touchdown. Like
straight up racism, bro.
Straight up racism. We're attacking the white boy. If he makes a play, so be it. We ain't gonna stop attacking him. The dude used to be a freaking walk-on, and he's played terrific. But
I would do the same thing, by the way, if I was coordinating. But still, it would still be racism.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a racist thing. Absolutely. But hey, it is what it is. Whatever to win the ball game. You might have to go a little Don Imus on them and get a little racist just to get the dub.
Are you kidding me, dude?
Yeah. What Don Imus saying, nappy headed what? Yeah, man. Don Imus was out of pocket. But a couple of injuries.
Funny thing was, when Don Imus said that, no one, black or white, had a nappier head of hair than he did. You just like look.
That head was fried, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that head was definitely fried.
Like, dude, there are white and black dudes in the subway homeless right now that are not as nappy as you.
Oh, what a great time. You just can't say certain things on radio. Cancel culture, overblown, man. What are we doing? Come on. But, yeah, I don't know how they pulled off this win. Like, Malik Murphy, The script was good, KD. You know,
Dude, early on, it was great.
The script
But
was
let's
good.
also get into Malik. So Malik has a lot of gifts and is talented. And so for all the people, I love all the people that are like, I've seen him in a spring game. We all saw him. And, limited high school stuff against weird competition. I know what he is. No one does. Like even people at practice don't. You don't know until there's some good stuff there to build off, man.
Yeah. ...
And then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And then is probably what I can tell you're getting to, that the screen pass you can never throw. I mean, there's still things that seem too big. And there are times he delivers bullets and good balls. I mean, the deep ball, the A.D. Mitchell.
Oh.
Like, honestly, Quinn's had problems in a year and a half. Like,
I know I'm not the only one, Texas fans. There were points in that game at the beginning where you're like, if this continues, I don't know if you can put 3 back in the game. If Malik Murphy, which now obviously everybody's like, okay, when's Quinn coming back? We already got Anthony Frederick down here talking about, I pray Quinn is back next week because, it's a long 4 quarters. And you talked about it being on Sark. Once that script is over with, and Klanderman, defensive coordinator for the Kansas State Wildcats, once he figures out, okay, this is what they're trying to do, we're going to make adjustments. Kind of like what every coach does when they're getting paid 6 figures on this level. That's what you're paid to do. Make adjustments mid-game. And they did that, and you saw Malik Murphy look a little bit uncomfortable. And you're right, KD, he does some things where you're like, man, that arm looks incredible. Those deep shots were on the money. Some of those hitch routes were on the money. And then all of a sudden, it's just he gets pressure on him, and
he's behind guys at that point, which is meaning that he's not in tuned with the actual game time and how real and quick that is. That's part of that's Derek Williams getting late on something. Derek Williams and Malik Muhammad are going to be studs in a couple of years. Yeah. Malik, probably no matter where he is, Malik's got NFL talent, bro. He's got a serious arm. And there are times where he was poised and read stuff, and there are times where he didn't. So 17-year-old kid again.
Right. And, to the defense.
Not him, but I mean, my analogy.
I knew what you were talking about. But, the defense in the first half, they were money. They closed off what.
No, they were great.
To do. Like
the only thing where this team, Zay, to me, is like top in the country, better than anyone up front. I'll take those defensive tackles over anyone. I'll take Devondre Sweat, who I think has been a defensive MVP across the country, Big 12, UT. Byron Murphy, who's not been as good against the run if you look at his grades, but has gotten better and is a beast as a pass rusher. Those 2 guys, if you look at PFF or anything, are the 2 best interior defensive linemen in the country.
Yeah, you're talking about one of the best run teams in the nation, and you held them to 33 yards.
Snuffed them out. Third down, they couldn't do anything because they get to 3rd and 3 because the way they run. And this team, 3rd and 3 ain't 3rd and 3, bro.
Yeah.
It feels more like 3rd and 6 if you're going quarterback power or zone read. The other guy, Alfred Collins, has been so good this year.
He quietly has.
Finally, he's not what we thought coming out of Cedar Park or Bastrop. But guess what? Like, his senior year, he's actually Alfred Collins will play in the league like Hassan Ridgeway for 8 years and make a ton of money, and all of us be like, I just thought he never lived up to it. It's like, dude, his senior year, he started to get it, actually.
Yeah, sometimes it takes guys a longer time to just figure it out, and he's had a few different coaches. I know he came in with Herman and stuff, and everybody's been waiting on Alfred Collins, and obviously, it's not to where his 5-star rating coming out of Cedar Creek was or is, but along with the rest of this defensive line, like Barrett Sorrell, you saw him on that last play to force Will Howard to just throw it up, which Dave Benda, if I'm Javondre Sweat, I'm pretty salty at David Benda. That's an interception for T. Sweat. Yeah. I know we're going to do defensive player of the game and stuff in a little bit, but he gets that pick. That's my defensive player of the game with how much he was causing havoc all day long. And David Benta just wanted to make sure it hit the ground, and I could understand that. But yeah, man, this secondary, they could be vulnerable. Like you saw it against Houston, you saw it against Oklahoma. Hell, you even saw it at times against Wyoming with their backup freaking quarterback. And if you don't count that Jaron Thompson pick six, then hey, that might be a different game. It was tied up going into the fourth quarter against Wyoming. So yeah, just salute to Colin Klein and Chris Kleiman, that Kansas State team. Like they didn't give up, and when they realized,
and the Klansman, who's the
Klansman? Yeah, Klanderman, yeah, Joe Klanderman, yeah, and the Klansman calling his, yeah, man, those dudes, they're tough. Like every time you play Kansas State, it's just going to be a dogfight, and they understand that they were number one in the Big 12 also, and unfortunately, especially with how good both of those teams played at times today, that might be a team that the Longhorns see at the end when it comes to Jerry World. Because, yeah, Will Howard, that dude, he's a tough one. Like he took some hits today and he was kind of gimpy going to the sideline, and he came back and he started using his feet, not to necessarily make plays on the run game, but to just buy more time. And guys on the receiver core for them, they were moving around, and it was hard communication wise for the secondary to find guys. And that's what you saw 327 yards later. Now you're in overtime trying to figure out what the hell happened. How did we get here? And, what if Kansas State didn't miss those field goals or those PATs? Like that was huge, tying the game at 27, because now you give Texas life. If you're Texas, they go up 1 point, that's a brand new feeling. And that stadium, they felt it. They felt the pressure, and everybody was a little tense and stuff. But the fact that the game was tied at 27-27, you could kind of be like, okay, we're tied here. Let's go do what we do and try to put some points on the board. And they got 2 more field goals out of Bert Auburn, which Bert Auburn, salute to you. Hey, you got to just knock him down. Just knock him down, Bert. And he's been doing that. So, hey, those are big time kicks from him. But yeah, this team finessing their way for a dub. I don't know how they did it, but hey,
they got it done. And Bert's been a lot better. Apparently, Ernie's not giving him as much shit as he was in bed. But
see, I told Chip Brown that he brought up
that's not a Bert Auburn joke. That's not a Bert deal at all. It's a Bert and Ernie from.
See, I was the same way. Chip brought up Sesame Street last week, and I told him, yo, Bert and Ernie had something going on that was a little shaky. Like Sesame Street ain't that little
shaky. It was like, do you think Scooby and Shaggy were smoking too? No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
no, man, I don't mean to you. I mean to Chip. Come on, Chip.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you think Shaggy and Scooby, they're seeing ghosts all the time. Yeah, take a little puff every now and then.
The munchies at all times. There's smoke billowing out of the back of the van. It was the 80s, but there were 70s, but in 80s, but they're trying to get the point across,
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, man. When there's monsters involved and stuff, you got to take the edge off. And if you have to toke a little reefer, then so be it. So be it for those guys.
Man. If that many people had real masks on and they took it off and then it exposed who they were, yeah, I'd be chiefing a lot more too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, absolutely. Let's give some love here, Zay, to all of our people and all of our supporters, but Clean Cause, they're actually sponsoring the YouTube comment line. So Clean Cause is awesome. A lot of good flavors. Big Craig had one the other day. It's all organic. It's either low or 0 calories and natural caffeine, which is great. I had a coffee for the first time today and I could feel it right away. And I'm like, I need natural caffeine. I need Clean Cause. So to date, they've given over $2 billion in support of recovery from alcohol and drug addiction. It's cleancause.com. They've been a big supporter of us. And I don't know. I usually don't look at the line. If you guys are assholes, I'm going to block you. Anthony actually had a pretty good one. Laugh out loud. Is Michael Tapp a ball hawk? Yes. And he's a coach on the field too. That is one thing as white guys, There are some great white athletes, right? Would you call Trey Turner a coach on the field, or would you call him one of the top 5 fastest guys you see in baseball?
Oh, one of the top 5 fastest guys I've seen. Which I've always said about Trey Turner. He might have a little bit of brother in him. It might be 5% or something like that.
Oh,
But
he's probably like 12%.
That's what I'm saying. You see the way he be sliding all smooth and stuff. Yeah, man. Trey Turner's different. But yeah, salute to Michael Taft, man. Like that dude, he's always around the ball, it seems like, and he's been making plays for this defense. I might joke about him being a Westlake alum / walk-on player, but hey, the dude's performed. And again, they had Keaton Crawford out today. The safeties, they were all right. It's just sometimes, man, like they could get gutted. And it wasn't like those wide receivers for Kansas State or what you see at Washington up at the Pacific Northwest with what Michael Penix has to work with. Like they're average at best. I mean, Phillip Brooks, he's their best one, but man, they made Chase Brown look like Reggie Wayne today. And just those things are just like, man, how is this happening? You know, like again, Will Howard did a hell of a job of making more time and evading the pressure, but it's like, dude, fellas, y'all gotta be more locked on when it comes to these receivers. And the second half, we just kind of saw what we've seen in too many games this year, going back to Houston, going back to Oklahoma. And you thought that, hey, especially what happened against Oklahoma, that last play going 75 yards for 5 plays, man, these Horns, they might give up 7 on this last drive. And luckily enough, they only gave up 3 and took it to overtime when they obviously got the dub. But yeah, you know, this good for Texas that this is the best team you're going to play for these next 4 games. Like
I'm
TCU,
everything you're saying, you know this. You know what? I'm also changing all 3 of my TVs, so keep it up there.
Okay, I feel you. But yeah, like TCU, I mean, it's going to be tough no matter what when you go to Fort Worth. You know, then you got to go to Abe's, Matt Campbell's team's playing hell of football right now.
Yeah.
And then you close it out with Tech and Joey McGuire and that nasty ass possum that they had running around the other night. So, you know what I'm saying? If they bring the possum, I'm a little worried about, you know, Texas.
That's here though, but they
might bring it. That might be some luck. They got that nasty ass possum on the field, and they end up winning that game.
Now we've all had country folk. You and I grew up in Austin. Country folk from all around Texas that'll bring stuff on vacation or on holidays. It's like you didn't need to bring the running water or the no. Was it oat seeds? You're making moonshine here? Yeah, we can't do that. We HOA. Like it's not gonna happen. You know what? We're in a good spot though. As UT fans, at the beginning of the run, it's moving in the right direction. Sark's had a lot of tailwinds at his disposal, and he's taken advantage of it. So they're recruiting well. The NIL obviously is a huge landscape changer. It's like the opposite of what CC was dealing with, getting kids that are playing at Westlake against him. He's like, I developed this kid from kindergarten on, you know, and so UT has that advantage and he's taking advantage of it. But there are things that they have to clean up as a program. I mean, we have to admit that with Houston in this game, could have easily lost those, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're up 21-0 against Houston. That game is 31-24 at the end. If it wasn't for CJ Baxter's run, then who knows? And then you go up 27-7 in this game, and you only win it by 3 points. Like those things, like you're getting the dubs. And again, in recent years, that wouldn't have happened. So there's definitely, like you're saying, there's definitely more optimism with this squad, but it does make you a little nervous just moving on. And Sark and his play calling, that still has to improve. There were times that 4th and 2 where you fake or I don't know if it was 4th and 2, but you fake the quarterback sneak and get the pitch to CJ Baxter.
That was great, man.
That's why you got the job, Sark. That's why you got the job.
You also stole that from the Eagles, which I love because the Eagles are known for the tush push. They give a halfback lead left, but the point was, boom, they're pinching, and there's one got to make miss on the perimeter.
Yeah.
And CJ Baxter will make him miss. CJ looks healthy, man. They both look good.
Yeah, they definitely look good. And Jonathan Brooks, obviously, that's an uncharacteristic fumble by him. You know,
Yeah,
if you're in the game, I know people will be like, oh, but Jay, he ain't playing 100%. If you in the game, you 100% in my book. Don't play. Like, don't play. I love Jonathan Brooks, but you can't look at that fumble and say it was an injury fumble. Like, no, old boy made a good play by going peanut Tillman, Derek Johnson, and stripping that thing away from them in the time that they needed to. And that was
very Kansas State play Tuesday.
Oh, so Kansas State.
I mean, it's totally Kansas, like in basketball or in football.
Yeah, complete Kansas State. And shout out to Sark. He mentioned earlier this week in a press conference, I don't know if it was this week, but he's mentioned sometime this season that he didn't invent football, going to the fake tush push toss to CJ Baxter for the touchdown. Like, steal anything that you can that you know is going to work for your personnel. That's what the great coaches do.
100%.
That's what the great, like, you don't have to invent anything. Like, if there's any coaches out there are like, oh, this guy does this, I don't like him. Fuck that. If it works for your team,
dude,
steal it.
A majority of the stuff you've seen with tech, they were not the first nerds to invent that.
Yeah.
But they were the first nerds to get enough capital and business sense to proliferate it, right? And so, that's what this is. Like, you don't need to invent anything, like you said. You get a whole R&D department. Bunch of kids are just looking at shit all. Like, grab whatever.
That's right.
Princeton ran something on 4th down. Fuck, let's go for it. We can't be any worse on 4th down and goal from the 2, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, wins a win.
Couple of funny comments. Taff is definitely a gym rat. Very, very funny, Nate. He's ball hawk. He's gym rat. He's coach on the field. He's white. I will say this, though. Outside of white or black, it's nice having guys with ball skills, because usually secondaries now are so loaded with just track athletes, and I get it, and we'll teach you how to play football, but they've never caught a ball in center field. And so, or even played ping pong, and you see the ball skills and they're all over the place, or they're grabbing a guy late on a flag. It's like, no, it's uncatchable. Don't do that. It is nice seeing someone who's back there who, whether it's luck or not, like, just has ball skills. It's like, oh, I can grab that. Are you kidding me? That was easy.
Yeah.
They're like, Gus John's like, what a play by Jeff. I'm like, that ball ricocheted. He caught it. Like, it's quick.
Yeah, that should have been a completion. My man smoked that.
That should have been. Was that Malik who got in front of him enough to where it blinded him, and blinded him with science?
No, I think that was Terrence Brooks.
Is that Terrence? All right.
Yeah.
I'll give Terrence some love, because he got beat on a play later, and Terrence has had a rough year. I know he's got a ton of talent, so hopefully he's at that spot too, where he's at 18. And all right, Terrence, we're going to figure some shit out and get you a job.
Yeah. So,
once again, this is all figurative, coming back to earlier stuff. So,
shout out to our Coda text line 512-222-9328. Somebody said Texas is on borrowed time. A great FB is going to take advantage of that soft coverage.
A great FB, a great fullback?
Football team? I guess football team.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what FB means.
I mean, because Kansas State had the best H-back we're going to play all year. Who was 45, who's H-back, tight end, fullback, who can do all that. But, I don't think a fullback in 2023 is going to beat you. Probably football team.
Yeah.
If you're saying football team, I agree. I picked Kansas State to win this, and because I feel like Texas is on borrowed time for a lot of reasons. Depth, injury. They've not totally figured out how to play with their personnel in certain situations. Red zone, obviously, being number one. But I think it's moving in a great direction, and it's moving that way. So I hate to be that guy where I'm like really happy where it's at, but also I don't think this is a playoff team. And look, this year they could sneak in. So fuck, let's go for it,
Yeah. And again, every time I think about the CFP, I think about Sark's play calling. Like, are you trying to prove to the committee that y'all deserve to be in just by trying to blow teams out early when you should take the points? I mean, I get it. 6 beats 3 any day of the week, but sometimes 3's okay, especially with the way that defense played and the Red Cat situation. As productive as the Red Cat's been with Savion Red, the fumble against this Kansas State defense, and you could have went up 23 to what, 7?
Yep.
Not a good move. That's just
No.
not that's bad feel for the game, Sark. And again, you want to give your team confidence and show them, hey guys, I have faith in you. So by showing you I have faith, let's go for it on 4th down. So y'all could trust me and y'all aren't bitching at me later on, when you're thinking that, oh, we could have taken them on a 4th and 2, but Sark didn't give us the opportunity. Like you said, KD, at this part of the season, you are what you are.
Yeah.
So, like,
no,
you
say,
need to know,
say
guys
if you've shown faith in a buddy or like a kid 10 times and they fail every time, or 8 out of the 10 times, like, it's not you being an asshole and not showing them faith the 10th time. You're just being realistic, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there was one point of the season where I didn't have much faith in Burt Auburn, so it kind of made sense.
Totally. Yep. Different time though, and you're right about that, because I thought about it. I think almost like Sark, like, got his drug habit. Bad example. But got his addiction to 4th down going because he had to with Burt Auburn.
Yeah.
And now Auburn's figured that out, and you're in a Kansas State or Houston game. It's like, dude, take the 3. I don't like it either.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish we had an offense at 4th and 2. You're like, screw you. We don't. We just don't. So,
yeah. 10 penalties for the Longhorns for 67 yards.
It's Kevin Marr. Kevin Marr had to swallow something. It's so funny too. It reminded me of old school officiating. Whenever there was a holding against a Texas opponent on offense, I'm like, what? And of course, the late hit, which I can see how they called that. I mean, my era, that I laugh at that, and it's like, are you kidding me? Like, you never call that.
So
it wasn't flagrant. My thing about is intent with everything in life. The intent wasn't bad.
I mean, you got to understand, some of these dudes are clocking in 20
flying,
miles per hour.
They're flying.
They're flying. They're exactly. So how do you slow your body down? There might be some contact, but you should be able to tell what's intentional and what's not. What Ryan Watts did, it wasn't intentional. In a way, he was just trying to slow himself down.
There was no bad intent.
That's bad, man. Yeah, that was a bad call.
But Kevin Marr, he gave which I haven't heard this in years. They usually do this better. He's like, so there is a holding on the offense. Give it like a 3-second click. Come on, let me hear the roar. Also a personal foul on the assholes. The team I've screwed forever. I mean, I'm sorry, on Texas. First down, motherfuckers. You're the SEC. You cut the mic off, Mikey. Your mic was still on.
Yeah, he was interesting. That one to Xavier Worthy, which if you're Malik Murphy for that deep route, go route, if you're Malik Murphy, you got to put that on the money. But Xavier Worthy, he had to stop and come back to it, and that should have been pass interference. And those guys, they kept that.
I think also on his first pick to Jonte.
Yeah,
I mean, there's enough of a grab there to where you have a punt in center field, Yeah.
And, on the other side,
Sinnett,
he had one where he tripped. So I'll take both of those calls.
Yeah, he tripped, and I never saw a good enough look to see if that was a trip, because he tripped over a Texas guy.
Yeah.
So it's really a brilliant move, Westlake move. You'll like this today. If you just fall and someone falls over you and can't get into their route, it's like, dude, I tripped, man. I tripped, bro. How dare you?
Yeah, you Westlake guys been winning state championships for decades for those little dirty tricks.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's it. It's a bunch of 5'1" white kids who just won 6A state championships with, a dirty trick here or there.
Hey, I'll take it, man. I'll take it. Ethan Burke, Michael Taft, both of those guys. We might have to fight for a defensive player in the game with those two. You know what I'm saying? Both
We
Westlake
will.
alums. So
Let's give Noah Hinojosa some love here, because Noah comes in with $50 each post game, which should go to my account, BK, because I'm the most obvious one here, and I'll give it to Trey and Zay. But Noah's always chipping in, man. It's pretty cool that in all seriousness to see all the people that are listening and kind of helping out with our small little project here.
Yeah, definitely. Y'all are making it bigger.
It's actually getting big.
Oh, y'all are making it huge, man. The people have definitely supported us and everybody here at Texas Sports Unfiltered. And how can you not? We have an excellent team. BK's assembled a tremendous team. And I couldn't be happier being along for the ride. So appreciate everybody. Appreciate Noah. And again, Horns are 8-1, KD.
Dude, no, right? I mean, you kidding me? I'll take it. Like, I can't believe the kid's alive and Harvard's talking to him. Like, I mean, I'm like, I am thrilled. I'm also trying to be realistic about what they are. And I mean that if there is a loss or two ahead of them, this has been a really good year. It was you're 5-7, 8-5. Dude, this is going to be better no matter what. If you can keep everything in life linear as progression, whatever you're doing, that's good, because most things aren't linear. Most are. I kind of like how my green screen here is.
Yeah, your green screen's going crazy. It's been all over the place today.
Blinded me with science. But if you keep most things like that, then you're in a good spot. But most things in life, and you know this as well as I do, especially with sports, dip a little bit. Like, it's not linear. It's not always going up. So it's moving up, and there are things to work on and things that frustrate the hell out of us. And yes, should have been up 27-0.5, but we weren't. And you found ways to win. And getting back to your original point, we can bitch about, and rightfully so, not even bitching. I mean, giving real constructive criticism and honest feedback, which is why we're Texas fans and not in College Station right now.
Tough loss today, Jimbo. Tough loss today.
Yeah. Jimbo will be all right. Although once they sell, they're going to go the other way. And it's like, well, you told us forever. When I told you that he was done at Florida State, you said that you're no good loving tea sipper who's being a homer. Well, no, I was giving you an honest college football opinion. But I think Texas fans can do that right now and be critical of certain things. But at the end of the day, we're 8-1 and take it. And hopefully Quinn gets back. I mean, it's funny because there was someone, who was it here? We've actually had, thank you, Matthew, for that. We've actually had a lot of pretty good text here. But someone said, laugh out loud. Midway through the second quarter, I thought we were having a quarterback controversy. By third quarter, where's Quinn? Right? I mean, it shows you the emotional and kind of where we're at, where it's very up and down with everything, but certainly the quarterback too. But I'll say this. I know all three have talent.
Yeah, everybody had tons of optimism, which you should for Malik Murphy. I mean, the kid definitely has talent, but at the end of the day, it's not like Quinn Ewers is Peyton Manning. And if he's not starting over Quinn Ewers, then say what you want about Sark and his coaching staff decision-making. If he ain't starting over Quinn Ewers, you should be a little concerned. Because again, Quinn Ewers, he has his struggles at times also. So you knew Malik Murphy, the talent's there, but there's going to be some things that he shows that are very suspect and very questionable. And we've seen that the last 2 weeks, you know, and when the game starts to change and the defense starts making adjustments to what you're doing and bringing guys up and putting like 8 in the box and focusing on the running game and forcing you to make tough throws and bringing their coverage up, can he make those throws? We haven't seen it consistently. And hey, you could have had 5 picks today. Like, there were drops all around Kansas State's team that would have completely changed the game and would have been different outlooks, where the Horns, they got 3 points at those times. And
let's be real. He doesn't look ready.
He's just not ready. Yeah.
Tons of talent. I mean, there's some arm stuff in there that every NFL GM would be like, whoa, not ready yet. He's gotten better even with touch in a week. So we've seen development, but he's not ready yet. It's more, and that's where Sark's really got to protect him. And if he's not ready yet, Arch isn't ready yet.
Yeah.
Right? Because Arch is running. This is a meritocracy. Arch will be running second team. I don't think he's doing that to keep Malik around, because Malik will probably transfer at the end of the year either way. Because my guess is Quinn will come back. Right. Quinn's a third-round pick right now, man. Like Texas fans think he's a first round. He's a third round. He's not going to go as third-round pick.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't if I was Quinn Ewers. I'd come back, but we know Quinn Ewers and him and his team, they've had a different plan for his trajectory. Like, that's why he left South Lake Carroll his senior year to go to Ohio State. It's been about getting to the NFL as quick as possible, and maybe his team might believe he's better suited for the NFL than he is college. Now, it's not the NBA or basketball, so I don't think that's true. Like, you got to have some skins on the wall in college before you do something in the league. That's why the Anthony Richardson thing is still a question mark to me with the few starts that he had at the University of Florida. But, yeah, the quarterback room right now, as much potential there is, all those guys, they have improvement that they have to work on. And, hey, I know a lot of Kansas State people, they're probably going to be wondering, Chris Kleiman, why are we not kicking the field goal on fourth down? You know, like, I know that you're moving the ball on this defense and stuff in the second half, and you've put up points and whatnot, but – hey, Texas, huge stop. Barrett Terrell, he was right there. Byron Murphy, he was right there.
You also had momentum.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you had Mo. Sark gave you Mo. Texas gave you Mo to go into the second half. I mean, there's not many times you're down 10 and got your ass physically beat for 18 out of the 20 minutes, and you feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
But they knew that should have been 27-0 or 23-0. And it was 17-7. Like, that alone is coaching malpractice. Or the way it played out was. And I don't want to get on Sark too much because I've been very pro Sark. You know that. I've given him a lot of rope. But I mean, there's just some things that just gets old seeing it over and over again. And you can't hand people free momentum. If one of your sides is playing that well, run with it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He gets greedy, man. He gets greedy. He goes back to
we're all
coordinator mentality,
too, man. I know.
Yeah. He goes back to that coordinator mentality where it's like, dude, you're a head coach. Can we think about the big picture instead of you just focusing on the offense? You know, like, yes, this defense has been playing well, but the momentum that Kansas State gets when you don't convert those fourth downs, it gives them life for a team that's tough as hell. Like, that Kansas State team is tough as hell. The fact that they only had 33 yards on the ground and Colin Klein just mucked away the game plan and just started throwing it out there and they fought back like they did, there's a certain toughness that the Wildcats bring to the table. So, Sark, you should know that and put your team in situations where they're not giving up momentum like they did against U of H and like they did against the Kansas State Wildcats. And obviously, those are both dubs, and you live with that. But, man, I just wish it was more consistent for 4 quarters instead of having certain drives and certain possessions given up because you're trying to be greedy and put up some serious points. So if you get to that selection Monday, whatever the hell it is, and you're trying to fight your way, the committee could say, oh, look at Texas, they're blowing teams out of the water and stuff. Like, just worry about winning the game. All that stuff will play itself out. All you could do is worry about winning. All that style point shit,
dude.
I shouldn't be questioning that, KD. I shouldn't be questioning style points. Like, a part of me understands it just because, like, his mentor, Nick Saban, was bitching his ass off last season.
You really think he was going after style points, though,
Say what?
You really think he was going after style points?
Oh, yes. Yes. I think ever since the Oklahoma loss, I think that Sark knows that, okay, we could win out, but when we win out, it has to look good if we want to put ourselves in a situation for a national championship. I think that's why I think that goes into his decision
Are we
making.
watching the same team?
Yeah, that's what I think that Sark has overconfidence on his team to where he's trying to go for stuff where he should just take the points. And what I mean by style points, I mean trying to run.
I know what you mean. You mean 95 Florida, Nebraska going back and forth, trying to make it 87-7. I get that. I'm talking about this team. Like style points.
Oh, I wouldn't do it.
I just want to win a game.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. But hey, you and we've been here in the ATX longer than Sark has. So we have.
I know, but he's a head coach, man. Like he should. Like the fact that their red zone is that bad, some of that has to be personnel because Sark is smart enough to dial shit up with different run schemes. I'm guessing they don't counter, power, or trap very well because he should go Shanahan. There's a lot of different ways. I mean, you can get 4th and 2 easily. And the fact they can't, I'm guessing there are limits on certain personnel. I'm giving Sark benefit of the doubt there because I've seen him enough with Devontae Smith and Alabama's out certain guys and he's doing the yo-yo shit and zigzagging. Like Sark's smart enough to figure it out. They can't do it. Like this team is very flawed in a lot of ways, and they're 8-1, and I love it. Let's go. Let's finish it off, and we can win the whole thing. And I can be the Rangers fan who talked about the bullpen in May, and I'll take it. You can, for the rest of my life, be like, dude, you didn't think they were a national championship team. I will tell you they aren't because no one is this year. But if we win it, I'll take the ring and let's fucking go. But right now, where they're at, can any coach? Like realistically with play calling and think that?
That's why I had questioned it, KD. Like when I see his play calling and the way he talks at his pressers, we could win multiple ways. And
he's already playing up our win. And I'm like, dude, our win, bro. You got 4 games in front of you. And I want to win all 4, but I don't think we will.
Like he said, we got the best win in the country going to Bryant-Denny Stadium at night and beating that Alabama crew. Like Sark already is fighting for CFP. Like he'll play it off by like, well, there's so much football to go and this and that. And then he goes on and be like, but we beat Alabama at Alabama and nobody does that. And we'll see if LSU could do it tonight. But yeah, nobody does that. So he's thinking about it. Like with where they are now and losing to Oklahoma, he is thinking about it. And
I know he is. And I also love it because I love what he's trying to get out of this program. And I think he may think his kid is a little better looking than they are right now. But shit, if they are, then it's my kid too at the end of the day. So I love it. Hey, let's go offensive player of the game. Do you have something else on that? Because you had a pretty good stream of thought. Anything else on that or
no? No, man. Let's roll.
Let's go offensive player of the game or offensive MVP. Verde's Maxim Parrilla and their off Hamilton Pool and 71. Spicewood, Texas. Great area, beautiful area, especially now with the weather. Get on out there. And they've got a bunch of traditional stuff that we love, Tex-Mex favorites, but we've got really good margaritas and indoor dining, outdoor dining, you name it, covered patio. So get on out there. It's Verde's Mexican Parrilla and our offensive MVP. So I'm looking at it. We're not going to go Malik, although early on it felt like that. A.D. Mitchell's 8 catches, 149 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yo.
Cedric Baxter, though, 10 carries, 90 yards, 9-point average. Those are the 2, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
who do you got?
Over 100 yards.
You got out of both. Who would you take?
I'm gonna go with A.D. Mitchell, Adonai Mitchell. Yeah, agreed. I mean, what a route that he ran for that touchdown. You know, when you're already
that was like a double route. He came in and the guy didn't totally sell. Like usually guys like that when they get turned around, they'll bail way too far in. He was like kind of biting on it and not but not totally. So he didn't totally go in, turned his shoulder, but he's looking. And then he gave the little hitch after that and again. And like it wasn't that much separation. It shows you that you don't need that much with athletes who are running 4.4s, right?
Yeah. And I was nervous about him coming back after that touchdown because he was a little gimpy going off to that sideline.
His ankle.
His ankle. If you think about to his Georgia days, like he dealt with injuries the whole tenure with the Bulldogs in Athens, even though he won 2 national championships and had some big catches in the CFP those last 2 years, he was injured a lot in Athens. So him coming back and still producing and still making big time catches, that says a lot about his toughness. And if Malik Murphy was more accurate, then who knows? He could have gone over 200 yards in this game. But yeah, that was an NFL route that he ran for that touchdown. And if you're going in as a defensive coordinator, man. Oh, for sure. Like maybe early second round if he continues to do what he does. Maybe first round, it depends. We see how he does.
It'll probably be early second because of the injuries, but the size. I mean, but the big thing. I mean, trust me, with the NFL, it's not where you go; it's your second contract. Like you make that work. For these guys at any age, you get $10 million with compound interest and a good financial advisor. Like you're set for life. So are your kids. So. Yeah. That's what all these guys are trying to get to with their second contract. So you may see Connor Williams signed for $11.7 million, but this guarantee. Connor Williams is done now, like done. Like I mean, he's going to play, but like if you have a good financial advisor and you get to $10 million, unless you're Cardi B, like or trying to think of who else, Elvis. Then you're okay at that point. And AD will get there. I think Xavier probably will too. Xavier, the punt returning has helped him out a lot. He didn't want to do it, and Banks made him do it. And he's pretty good actually fielding stuff, the depth perception. But like when stuff's on the run, he's picking it up now, like that one punt return and erasing 50 yards, Zay.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been very skeptical this last 2 years about Xavier Worthy being back there for punt returns, and especially after the muff punt against Baylor. Like when he started muffing punts, I was like, all right, it might be time to start looking for somebody else, Jeff. Yeah. It might be time, man. And he redeemed himself last week for the punt return against BYU, and he's gotten better and better, and the blocking's gotten better also. You see Austin Jordan back there making some big-time blocks. You see Trey Wisner, a lot of guys that –
Was that Taft who threw that one on the one he picked up? I think it was Taft.
So.
But it was like – it was a very – it would have been in any other era. You go, dude, that's one of the best clean, like awesome – football blocks I've seen. Yeah, the guy got cleared out. He may have had his, all right, he saw it, and that's football, right? There were times where you and I probably got knocked out or got our bell rung, and we saw it coming the whole time. The guy was better than us. It's like, so that was a great block, but that really sprung that. And I was waiting for, with Kevin Marr, the flags to come up,
Kevin Marr was in his bag today. Texas did play against Kevin Marr too. That's for sure. Those 10 penalties, and it could have been a lot more for Kansas State, but hey, it is what it is. Like then a lot of adversity for the Horns in this game, and to still win it with your backup quarterback having a C- game,
No, I mean, overview is great where we're at, bro. Think about late Mac. Think about Charlie. Think about Herman. Like, think about even early Sark. Like, we're in a great spot. And it's moving in the right direction. So the overview is great, and we can definitely probably get too microscopic, but pretty happy overall.
Absolutely.
All right, what about defensive? So offensive MVP, I agree with Zay. We're going to go with A.D. Mitchell. He deserves it. He came back here to be close to his daughter, who I believe is 2. And
great story.
It really is. When you get in the story, it's really cool.
Yeah.
And so people are like, why would you leave 2-time defending national champion? Do you not care about your team? No, he's got a 2-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
And
I have so much respect for that, man. Because
I do too.
A lot of guys at that age with a kid wouldn't be worried about that. They'd be worried about football. They'd be like, oh, let the baby mama handle that. I don't know if he's still with his baby mama or whatever that situation is. But he said, I'm going to move places not only for my football career, but for my family. And it takes a real man, for her. And it takes a real man to know his responsibilities and to make adjustments to better his family and to bring them closer. And he's done that. And he's out there producing on the field. Like, salute to Adonai Mitchell. That dude, that's a class act right there.
Totally agree, 100%. And it's one of those things that I think most men, hopefully at some point, would get there. At 20, when you have that much success, I would totally get saying, hey, I'm staying at Georgia. I'm getting a three-peat. I got NIL stuff. I'll be a first-round pick. But his main deal, he talked about it, was I want my daughter to really know me. She's at the age now where she's going to know her dad.
Yeah.
That, to me, I thought, dude, that is like 41-year-old shit. So,
yeah. Calls her his twin. He was pointing her out at the Houston game because he's a Houston native, and she came to that, and he was like, y'all see my twin? And Texas social media team, they did a good job getting that video. It was very heartfelt. And, yeah, you're right. Just 41-year-old man shit, like grown man stuff right there. And, yeah, that dude, 1 year here, that's what sucks. He's only has 1 year here at Texas.
You know what? It sucks, though, but I bet you – so – you know who else is here for 1 year but comes back all the time and is a great representative? And I'm so proud that he is a Texas Longhorn for 1 year. And he comes back and helps out financially, but more promoting it and just being a good bastion steward of what UT is. Michael Dell. No, that was 6 months. Never mind. No, Kevin Durant. And I know you're an NBA guy, so you got your thoughts on KD, and KD's been,
I love KD. I don't have the,
but I know the NBA world, swear to God, I've seen more black people talking about him brushing his hair on Twitter. And I'm like, God damn, dude, let the motherfucker just do what he wants.
Yo, man, Nappy's
y'all get on that shit left and right, bro.
Yeah, man, let it roll Nappy, man. That's how I know KD's a true hooper, because they ain't about the head sometimes. It's about getting buckets. He's going to Hall of Fame, not off his looks. It's off of getting buckets and winning championships. So, yeah, man, talk about the BBs in his head and how it's a little dry and stuff. So be it. He'll give you 30 while you're talking about him. He'll give you 30 while you're talking about him.
No, it's KD and Pam Ward, right? Is Pam Ward? Like, I swear to God, man, y'all, black people get on black people more than anyone I know. Like, y'all are like,
we're out of control,
her, dude. I'm like, she's talented. They're like talking about the 5 head and where and everything. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, we're a cold race, man. We're a cold race. We'll find anything to clown you on. Like, you be wearing glasses and be like, oh, your ass can't see, huh? And be like, what are you? Yeah, I have struggle with my eyesight. Like, why are you clowning me for that? It's just
I was born this way.
I was born this way. Yeah, black folks don't care.
It's one of the many reasons I love y'all and why you guys get along with the Irish so well. We are some cold ass, like, self-hating motherfuckers at times. But with that said, like, AD will be like a smaller version of KD for me. He'll be here for a year. He'll be a first-round pick or second-round pick. He's going to do well in the league. But he'll be one of those people that really you're proud was a UT guy. And I think he feels that from everything I've heard too.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. You can be here for a year, but you could be here for 5 years too. But if it doesn't mean anything to you, like down the road, then what does that mean? But like he is really happy to be back with his daughter. And he's going to be a huge part of this. No matter what happens, they could finish 9-3 or 10-3 with a bowl win. Yeah. Like, that's a good year. Like, I guess I hate to be that parent now that's cutting everything off and being like, everything from this point's gravy. But like, I'm just happy they're at a point where they're at right now. Just finish it off and win 2 out of the next 3 games. Hopefully all 3. Get to the Big 12 championship game maybe and see what happens,
Yeah, and that's a good point, KD, because it kind of circles back to what I was talking about earlier with Sark and this play calling and just, trying to get the style points, realizing that there's a lot of guys on this 2023 roster that you're not going to go to the SEC with. Like Trevondre Sweat, one of them. Xavier Worthy, another one. Jalen Ford. Byron Murphy. A lot of guys that are helping you get these dubs. They won't be back for the SEC next year. So,
Alfred Collins, maybe Vernon Broughton. By the way, our deepest spot, getting back to it, it's 4 guys. It's Sweat, Murphy, 2 of the best combo in the country. And then Broughton and Collins, there's no better second-team defensive tackle unit that comes in that's better than them. Yeah. They've been good all year, bro.
Exactly. So Sark knows that. So he's trying to not squander any opportunity at all. And feeling that pressure, knowing that this might be the best chance that you have to get to a CFP because you already mucked up by letting Oklahoma beat you in the Red River shootout. Hey, you got to take advantage of any opportunity. And when it comes to those 4th down conversions or red zone situations, and you're trying to go for it and run up the score, I can't help but think about that, or think of that Sark is thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? And it shouldn't be. You don't want it to be like that, but I'm thinking about it. So why wouldn't the head coach be? You know,
he should be.
He should be. And I think that's affecting some of his play calling, even though this team is in a solid position at 8-1.
No, we're in a good spot. Dude, we got some good – this is a good day of college football. We got Oklahoma State. There you go. Break it up. Oklahoma State's up 17-14. I think Oklahoma State to win this. What did you take here?
I had Oklahoma before.
You take Oklahoma State to cover 6, though?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. But, yeah, man, Oklahoma, Andrew Anthony being out. I want to say Farouk. Is he playing? Because he got into some trouble. I think.
Yeah, Farouk got – and I never know what it is. It was like he had different warrants. I mean, so he got pulled over for something, but I could be like a headlight out and you're black and Norman. Yeah, like, I mean, I shouldn't laugh at that.
You know, I shouldn't laugh at that at all.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. It could have been serious too. So it could have been, you know, a Georgia player going 130 in a school zone. It's like, all right, you need to be pulled over, taken in, motherfucker. Yeah. So I have no idea, but you know what I'm talking about there.
Dude.
So, but apparently he had warrants out for, I think, like, you know, license and inspection, and I got a couple of buddies who are like 2 years behind on inspection. Like, I mean, solid guys, business guys. And I'm like, yeah, did you just not, you know, care?
Farouk's still playing. So,
is he still playing?
Yeah, he's still playing. He's in this game.
Right.
So,
all right, let's go defensive MVP here. So we already did the offensive MVP, and we agree for a lot of reasons on and off the field, but certainly on the field today, A.D. Mitchell. Defensive MVP is brought to you by Kenfield Golf Cars. So if you're in the market for a pre-owned golf cart, or maybe a new one, Kenfield Golf Cars is a spot. 1979, a year after I was born, Zay. They started in Austin. So, I mean, they've got, like, talk about knowing the industry and knowing where it's gone to. They're definitely those people. So really good people. Austinites through and through, will help you out no matter what you're looking for. Get to KenfieldGolfCars.com or give them a call at 512-258-8515. You know me, I'm like a broken record, so I'm going to say Trevondre Sweat or Byron Murphy or Vernon. Like, I just continue to give the interior line a ton of love, but there's probably a lot of people we could go to. Who are you thinking defensive MVP in this game?
I'm going to go Ethan Burke. I
like it.
Yeah, strip sack fumble that was recovered by Jalen Ford. That, of course,
that's 7 points, right? I mean,
yeah,
that play was 7 points.
Yeah, that play was 7 points, man. And he had a sack before that too.
Yep.
You know, where he tripped up Will Howard, who might have gotten a good gain to move the chains, but he tripped him up before he got the ability to scramble. And Ethan Burke was questionable for this game. You know, he didn't play last week against BYU. He's been dealing with that calf injury that I want to say he hurt against U of H. And for him to be questionable, obviously not 100% and have the impact that he did, you got to salute the former Westlake chaparral. Like, those were big time plays that he made.
I know that hurts. I know that hurts you there, buddy.
And you know what? It does.
By the way, you'd love Ethan. Ethan's as much of a buoy kid. Like, Ethan's a blue collar kid. Like, he got there his sophomore year. His dad's a lacrosse coach. His dad's a coach like yours.
Okay. See, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, once they change out of the red, white, and blue and put on the burnt orange, Justin Tucker, that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that dude. Sam Ellinger, love him. Absolutely love him. Michael Taft, love those dudes. You know, on the basketball side, Chris Mims, my dude. Brock Cunningham. Do you have another year of eligibility? Like, once you take off that red, white, and blue at Westlake and put on the burnt orange, I fuck with you, man. You're my dude. So I can appreciate good football, especially when it benefits the University of Texas. And Michael Taft with his third interception in 3 weeks, and Ethan Burke with that strip sack fumble. Like, that's why Westlake is Westlake, because those guys come to, you know, the college game and they're so well coached and they've played in big games before. Nothing phases them. You know,
and they're also, especially in Burke, I know this is tough. They're also very athletic.
Yep.
Very gifted, very talented, and fast twitch, say.
Yep.
Trust me, I had to play against them and get beat out. So, but yeah, no, Burke's a good example. I mean, I think it's Rude Wayne Dog on Twitter, who's been a huge Burke guy. I was the first Burke guy. And I can say that on the air because his junior year, I'm talking about that state championship team. And like, dude, this is Fossigan, but Burke, like, how's Burke not getting? He only had a Maryland lacrosse commit at that point.
Yeah.
And Michigan got on him later. By the way, who did Michigan send down to get that video?
Right. That's a long
trip. Stallions? Was that Stallions? Stallions making a little trip down here?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's I passed out of the Soho house last night. Man, that's not shocking. But no, I mean, the fact that they gave him a ride, I was screaming about him for 2 years, but also trying to balance being, especially as you know, if you're on radio or on an afternoon show, you don't want to be the Westlake guy talking about Westlake too much, you know?
Yeah.
So you've got to, because you should see those text lines. You got to balance that a little bit. But I also knew they were that good. It was more of as a UT guy. I'm like, dude, give this guy a gray shirt.
Yeah.
And they offered him the second to last day? And luckily, I mean, you know, OU's gotten a lot of commits from Westlake and they never turn there. But Michigan, I don't want any of these schools to get in here, man. Like Lake Travis got in with Garrett at Lake Travis, or Ohio State did with Lake Travis. I don't want any of that. Let's keep everything burnt orange. Bowie, Lake Travis, Austin High, Westlake, Vandergrift, whatever, you know.
Yeah, you should never let guys from Central Texas, if they're good enough, get out of Central Texas. I mean, Deuce Vaughn, even though you beaten Kansas State like the last 7 times, Deuce Vaughn still made your life hell coming out of Cedar Ridge. Yeah. And the fact that
he would have taken a gray shirt here, man. And by the way, if you would go, but he was 5'6", we had Darren Sproles. Like, no. That is our point here. That a 6'7", 220-pound white lacrosse player at Westlake, I mean, people will laugh me off the radio my junior year. They're like, bro.
Yeah.
Like, dude, he's not. He's a cute Westlake kid, and they're going to win another one. I'm like, no. Like, if you project, like with Deuce, you can see talent, and Texas is doing that in a large degree. I mean, a lot of what Sark's doing so well is developing the program with, at times, play calling. I thought his play calling for the first half was brilliant for the most part.
Yeah.
Even the quick pitch on the tush push fake. Like, it was good. And then it goes away. And the 2-minute drill, the red zone, and certain, just as a coach, game management, like, take a timeout at the very end of the game there when they get the 4th down in regulation. Take the timeout, bro.
Yeah.
Well, they pulled it, though. Okay, so you would have had 39 seconds instead of 1. at the very end when they actually got the ball back because they had enough timeouts. You take the timeout. There's certain things that are obvious and he's not doing, and that does worry me.
Yeah, he gets caught up in going just straight offensive coordinator mode instead of head coach mode. Like there's so many things you have to account for as a head coach. And I know everybody loves giving Sark shout outs about his SC days under Pete Carroll and then his Alabama days under Nick Saban, but he was under Pete Carroll and under Nick Saban. Now he's the man. So the responsibility is a lot different. And what worries you is that he doesn't take account for that responsibility as a head coach. Keep hitting my mic, and he just shows you things that make you question them. How can you not? You question them on certain things. I'm questioning him on certain things. Like he still has certain things to prove to me as far as a head coach goes and what it takes to be a championship head coach for a championship like team. And we've seen the progress and stuff. You just want to see it for all 4 quarters. I mean, years.
No, I mean, baby doll. We're still going to Hawaii in 2 weeks. Yeah. Like the relationship's all good. Like you're not getting a ring though there. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, last year, what was it? It was the second half woes. And it seems like this year at times it's been the first half or first half. They look good or now it's like, what happens, So
right.
Sark, hey, he squeaked by. Like if they would have lost this game, it would have been all on Sark.
Oh no. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Houston or this, it could have very easily, man. There's a lot of luck in there because we've been on the other side of that too.
Yeah.
Where I've had to come in and like talk people down from the ledge and be like, yeah, there was also some bad luck involved in this game.
Yeah. If Houston gets a good spot,
it's right
in the goal line, like that should have been a first down, but the refs were on your side on that play, even though Houston only had 1 penalty that game. And hey, who knows what would have happened? And if Kansas State would have caught the ball for their secondary, because Malik Murphy could have had 5 interceptions in this game by just throwing it to who knows who.
Right.
Like to your point, a lot of luck. A lot of
luck. I mean, I did every Tom Herman postgame for the Horn. 80 to 85%. Either way, win or lose. I'm like, this game really could have gone either way. And there's a lot of luck in sports. And so be careful with that. Like, I mean, they still need to definitely get better and improve. And I think all of our criticisms are fair. And you and I are also born and raised here, love UT. So, I mean, the fact that we're in this spot, I'm happy. I'm also kind of surprised, but happy. So, and I mean, hell, if we would have gotten our shit together in a couple different ways, we're actually 9-0 right now. And then I'm really thinking, how is this team 9-0? We're not but we are. So yeah, we're kind of in that spot. Hey, so we got offensive and defensive MVP. I mean, Zay gave it to a Westlake kid, so that's legit. Offensive play of the game brought to you by Hat Creek. Speaking of a Westlake kid, 15th birthday this month. Food truck behind Star Bar back in the day. And now they got 26 locations. Great place for the kids. I've had being the surrogate uncle, nephews, and nieces. And I'm like, I've got 3 hours. I'm going to take them there and I can get a couple drinks and meet some people and they can go play and we'll get something to eat. We're all happy. That's what Hat Creek is. So check it out. And they are sponsoring our offensive play of the game. Trying to go through it. I have not thought about this at all. Offensive play of the game. What was the last play of the game? So, I mean, we did set up a field goal. So, I don't know. Do you have something else?
I guess I would say with the 4th down woes, the
CJ Baxter.
The fake.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Push.
Because it showed creativity in short yardage, which we're asking for. It showed a guy who's obviously healthy now, and we really have depth there, no doubt. Like, yeah, I'm with you. 54-yard run for a touchdown, right?
Yeah, gotta have it.
Either that or the AD Mitchell, I would say, too, because because it looked like he was really going to give it in and kind of gave a little and then gave it again, and that was enough. So either one of those I'm good with.
Yeah. Sark was in this bag at times. He was in his bag, man. But
No, he was. I know he was good. I mean, he's obviously bright. It's not one of those where you and I are questioning that, or Texas fans are. It's about being consistent and certain times getting certain shit done. All right, defensive play of the game brought to you by Moonshine. We used to go when I was working downtown. We go to Moonshine a bunch, man. There's one downtown, one in Avery Ranch, but we'd go for lunch. But they have really good weekend brunch, really good dinner. We'd go for dinner at times too. MoonshineGrill.com for more info. And they've been around Austin for 20 years. And they just literally are joining us because they like us and want to say thanks to Austin. Really relaxed, easy going. So if you know Old Austin, New Austin, whatever, Moonshine definitely fits that. So what are you thinking for that? What are you thinking for defensive play of the game?
Since we've given Ethan Burt the player of the game, especially for a strip sack fumble,
Would you go Jalen Ford on being smart and stealing that shit?
You could. I would say it'd be the 4th down stop to end the game.
Oh yeah, it's got to be. You're right.
Will Howard.
What am I thinking?
Yeah. Like, Will Howard, who was money all that second half, and Barrett Sorrell and Byron Murphy just mucking stuff up to put so much pressure on him that he slips and falls, and you basically get a sack there. Like, that's a huge play because obviously Chris Kleiman had confidence in this team to win the game instead of kicking the field goal, which I would love to hear what Kansas State media thinks about that all week, because that's what they're going to be talking about with how that game went. You mentioned the momentum that Kansas State still had, even though they didn't get that 4th down play and lost the game. Like, you kick that field goal, you're forcing Malik Murphy to go back on the field and win the game. Like, just putting it back on Malik Murphy, that would have been their, best move to get the dub. And instead they said, okay, well, we shouldn't even be in this situation. We were down by 20 at some point. So Chris Kleiman said, let's go win the game. And Texas defense with Pete Kwiatkowski making the calls, they had a huge stop. And that's what you got to do in that situation. You got to bend, but if you do bend, do not break. And this Horns team, even though they gave up a lot of yards in that second half, Will Howard throwing for 327 yards, 4 touchdowns, they were able to get the stop when needed, and now they're 8-1. So, yeah, I would say that last play of the game for me, which, again, David Benda, let Trevondre Sweat get that pick, man. Get out of his way. Let him get that pick. The big fella never had those opportunities.
Like,
we would have given Trevondre Sweat defensive player of the game if he got that pick, probably.
Born and raised here, but like from doing radio, real radio, I started in 94, but like really doing a show from 2000, 2001 on. Like, I've had to fight Texas fans who are like, "Did you not like it?" I'm like, yeah, I'm born and raised here, graduated here, went to school here. Everything I have is burnt orange. My whole place is burnt orange. But yeah, I hate Texas. But like, I'm a college football guy, and you know this. Like, in any sport, like, and you're the same way. Like, you want to be realistic and rational, which is what I think most Texas fans are. But I would always, people would be like, "This guy's a 1st-round pick," or "We have the best defensive ends in the country." Now we're probably 3rd. You think we're 3rd? Yeah, I think Florida State and Miami's and like whatever it is that year. We have the best defensive tackles in the country. 2 of them and 4 of them. And they dominate everything. And our defensive line, I think, is the best in the country. Yeah. That may be close because the edges have had their own issues, but you really put Burke and Sorrell and you put those guys together, Finkley when he's playing well. Like, that is our force. That is by far UT's best position group nationally. Not even close. And they won that thing in the end. They collapsed in the middle with Murphy, which he's great at pass rushing. Sorrell collapsed. They didn't give him a fucking shot, dude. You're on a knee and chucking something up there, which is what you want, Outside of Jay Barron in the back end or Taft, if he had leverage and could see the ball, I don't want that ball being thrown up. And they didn't let it happen. So you're exactly right. And this team has come so far in a lot of ways, program has, but the defensive line to go from where they've been to what they're doing. Bo Davis needs a big paycheck and a raise. And I would also add an edge guy for him. Maybe like the A&M edge guy who recruits his ass off and those guys kick ass. And probably will have a job open in a month or two.
Damn.
Go on, Adam. We got nothing but money. You going to do the money thing? Adam, analysts,
well.
assistants, whatever. Like, I mean, obviously you want to have the main guys be able to recruit, but like analysts seem to be getting away with more now. I mean, hell, fuck, check Michigan. But, you know, like able to kind of be a little bit more involved with the coaching part. Like, give me my 9 best recruiters and we'll work on the other stuff.
Right.
Don't do that, actually, because we've done that. That doesn't work. But you get my point. All right. So we've got defensive play of the game. Totally agree. Final word. What's your final word here, man? I mean, I think we've hit a lot, and it's I've done this for a long time on the air, and this one reminds me of not only an epic game, but it's not 2009 Texas, not even 2004 Texas. I don't know where it's at, but the overview seems to be we're moving in the right direction, but we can certainly look at this game and say we got lucky and just happy to be 8-1. Where are you at?
Yeah, 3 games left. You go to Fort Worth next week. I mean, just a scrappy, grimy win that Texas teams in the past wouldn't have been able to pull out. So I got to give Sark his credit there. I got to give this Texas team and the maturity their credit, and the fact that they didn't let themselves lose this game and they didn't give up and they stayed the course, even though Kansas State completely won that second half and put it into overtime. I mean, again, Texas in the past, we wouldn't have seen that. So the mental toughness, not just the physical toughness, you talked about the strength and conditioning coach and the whole process that you have to take getting prepared for a season, the mental toughness to know that, okay, Malik Murphy is struggling the way he is, Will Howard's starting to go off, and you're still able to win that game. You still have confidence and you're not pouting or having your head down, hanging your head and disgust that, oh, we just blew a 20-point lead. Okay, you might have blown that league, but the game ain't over yet, and you're willing to pull it out. I got to give this Texas squad and Steve Sarkisian and the coaching staff a lot of credit for that, because 8-1 is 8-1. It don't matter how it looks. 8-1 is 8-1. And yes, they are.
You are what your record is.
You are what your record is. And as flawed as they are, they're 8-1. So, hey, can't beat that. You got 3 games left. It's still going to be a tough one. Don't think that just because the team that you beat by 3 this week and they beat that team from Fort Worth by 40-something points, 41 to whatever, that it's going to be an easy game. It's not. You know how it is in Fort Worth. Once you see Gary Patterson's weird-ass statue, you know that it's going to be a dogfight. They're going to give you everything, Sonny Dykes' crew. This was a team that, even though they're struggling, were in the national championship last season. They have pride, and they want to beat Texas on their way out to the SEC. So I hope this game woke Texas up again to like, man, wipe the sweat off the brow on that one. But
speaking of Gary Patterson, by the way, how does that statue not have a water feature in it?
Oh, got the sweat.
And do you remember the sister?
Sweat,
do you remember the sister? Because my aunt, or my aunt, she's gonna come with for that. My sister works there, but different sister who was like working on the team for like 4 years. So we always saw her by her side with the dreads. Like, it was like, she was like all on top of it. Like, it was one of those like women that you have at work. It's like, God, we would not do anything without her. She fucking functions on everything. And she'd always have the towel form and like a new shirt. And Gary would be sweating. He'd be look for her. And she's like, I'm right here. Here's the towel. Yeah. Like, he was like, how do you not have a water function for a statue?
I have no idea. I think Gary was in the house today, too. I think I saw pictures of him on the field today floating around.
But I want a statue of his assistant right next to him.
Yeah.
Because, like, I can't picture him without her. And I can tell it's like a wife for him. He's like, where's my towel? Where's my water bottle?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was in the house, though. Hopefully he's still helping out. More importantly, not helping them out.
Right. Yeah, so yeah, you're 8-1, moving on to TCU. Hey,
feeling good.
Yeah, feeling good. Feeling really good.
All right, couple questions here before we get out of here. I think that's a great closing thought. That is brought to you by Paul's Motor Works. So Paul's Motorworks, they do a great job. BK takes all of his stuff there. They really focus on Mercedes, Mini Coopers, BMWs, Audis, Volkswagen, and Porsches, but that's what they specialize in. They can do anything. These guys know what the fuck they're doing. So oil changes, any of that stuff, give them a shout or get on mine, pmwaustin.com. I am enjoying some of this stuff here. Craig said, where's the neck pillows, eh?
Oh, I don't do that's a radio thing, y'all. This ain't radio. That was specifically for radio. Because when you're in the producer's chamber, like I was for all those years, there were a lot of computers that were up. So your boy was doing a lot of this, and the neck get a little tired and worn out. Now I'm looking down at my laptop. So yeah, and plus I'm at home, so I'm already comfortable anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know y'all missed the neck pillow. It might come back one day. I don't know. It depends.
No, we kind of like it, man. It became a fashion statement.
Yeah, I see that.
It became a brand, Zay.
It kind of did. But hey, Allen Iverson didn't always have the arm sleeve. You know what I'm saying?
No, I remember Georgetown. He didn't have it there, did he?
He didn't have it there. No, he had the cutoff shirt, old school, where you cut it manually.
Oh, I remember it. I remember him and Ray Allen, like preseason. You were talking about it. NBA is trying to do preseason shit. Go to that tournament early on, and that actually may have been postseason. But I remember both them separately, not playing against each other, but at one of those Madison Square Garden preseason deals. And it's like, dude, this guy is nuts, man. Do you remember the two big men that AI played with at Georgetown?
Oh, gosh. One was the Junkyard Dog, wasn't it?
Junkyard Dog's one of them. And you got a lefty, number 50, too.
I don't remember that one.
Othello.
Okay.
Othello Harrington, dude.
Othello Harrington, yeah.
It was big time.
Yeah, I remember Junkyard Dog, though, with that crazy eye that he had. That dude.
No, he was nuts, man.
He was nut job.
He was ooping and finishing on every follow, even when he shouldn't,
Yeah.
All right, I know you got to go. I'm trying to think of what else. Katie, love your take on that bitch, Kevin Marr, the ref. Yeah, well, I'm just being honest about that. I try not to get over the top with officiating, but I was waiting for it. And by the way, it's one of those that I walked in to an awful fucking place, in a third world country, and I only got my wallet stolen. So, dude, you didn't jump me. I'm alive. I'll take it, And you didn't even take my credit cards. You just took my cash.
Yeah, ran that up. So, yeah, he didn't affect the game too much, but he had his moments. That Marr. But
no, he had his moments, including the one, like I said, where he gave the whole, no one does that now. You don't go holding on the offense. Come on, let me hear it.
Yeah, I'll get the pause. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, they used to do that back in the day. Also, a personal foul. What they do now is there were two penalties on, one on each team. There's a holding, which would be 10 yards, but there's a personal foul over here. So,
yeah.
But I've only seen that for 15 years now, so I don't expect Kevin Marr to
do that. Personal foul.
Noe did have a question, and Noe has helped us out so much with everything. Really asking about injuries. So we kind of knew. I thought coming in, how many guys are injured right now? Who's expected to come back next week? Good question. We won't get anything right now, but what do you think, Zay?
Jalen Catalan, they could use him. That dude he makes plays, but we knew coming in from Arkansas, all the injury problems that he had at Fayetteville, he was most likely going to have him at Texas, and that's come to be true. You think about Keaton Crawford, I was a little shocked that he wasn't available in this game. I'm sure that Sark said it in this press conference today, or we'll say it Monday, where he's at. Christian Jones, him being injured. Again, I've thought that he's been the most consistent
He has been.
offensive linemen that they've had. So having Cam Williams in there and the penalties that he racked up, obviously they missed Christian Jones, the 6-year senior, but Jonathan Brooks, I think that's something to look out for.
I hate to be Johnny Dad quickly, though, but I have a relationship with Cam and Christian and Kelvin. So, but with Cam, this will be a good experience, man. Yeah. He actually had rated higher than any lineman for UT in 16 snaps, 13 run, 3 pass. So, like, he'd been okay in his 16 snaps, and he's not Christian right now. But, like, this will be experience, and next year when he's starting will actually help out.
Yeah, you saw like JT Sanders after one of his false starts. JT Sanders was like, yo.
And JT's an older brother, man.
Yeah,
dude,
like
Cam is Leonard Davis. Cam's the biggest guy with his hands and just body in person that I've seen there. And I mean height and weight. And Cam is a sweet puppy dog.
Yeah.
He's from a small town and is, this is, he's getting there. I mean, he's really getting there. He's a smart kid too. He's just quiet. And so a lot of these guys are taking ownership and being a dad and an older brother. And I think you saw that with JT,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you need that. You need guys to hold each other accountable, but sometimes you need to put your arm around guys, let them know, hey, you made a mistake. Next play up. And I think JT Sanders, he's good for that because he's made his fair share of mistakes during his Texas tenure. But yeah, man, 8-1, can't beat that. It was a stressful one. It was a stressful one, that's for sure. They're gonna make it stressful, Texas fans. You're gonna be stressed.
Oh no. No,
you're gonna be stressed. You might get the dub, but it's gonna be a stressful dub. Please believe me.
No, look, Valentine's Day is never gonna be easy. All right. So you may think that dinner's good at 8, but there are gonna be some questions whether you're getting late at 9:30. But as long as that still happens, and we're all good.
Well, it still happens. Yeah. Sometimes you do. I've waited till 10:30, Katie. I've waited till midnight, and I'm wondering, is the nookie coming or what?
What the hell were you doing? What the hell did you do to wait till midnight on Valentine's Day?
Hey, just gotta be patient sometimes. Some girls, hopefully my wife ain't listening, but before her, some women will let you know, like, hey, bro, I have to see how you are at 11. Are you bringing that same energy? They want to test you a little bit. Sometimes you might have to get humbled. And hey, some of y'all fellas know, or some of your ladies.
No, that's why I'm single, man. I never make it past 11.
You say ain't nothing happening here. I gotta go home.
I gotta go home, man. I love you. Always fun doing stuff with you. Thanks to Paul's Motorworks. I was gonna add a last little final word, but Zay hit the nail on the head, man. You did. So. We're happy to be 8-1 and have a realistic view of what this team is, what they need to get better at. Maybe they can fix that this year. Maybe they can't, but let's roll with it. And thank y'all to listening and watching TSU 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. You can see Bucky and BK starting at 8. Zay and Chip do a great show from 1 to 3 every day. And then
Mondays we go from 3 to 5, though. The rest of the
3 to 5, sorry.
Just on Mondays, on 3 to 5, Tuesdays through Friday, we're 1 to 3.
Yep. And then I do 3 to 5 with Trey, whatever that is, but we have fun and we talk ball too. So we love y'all and take care. Thanks to all the sponsors too. Y'all have a good night, good time, and check us out on Monday. Hook 'em, y'all.
Appreciate y'all. Be cool.